Hi, thank you very much for attending our webinar, Introduction to Medicare, based on the official government Medicare and You handbook. So I'm Steve Shore, and I'll show you my biography. Well, I'll show it to you right now. Here's my biography, and the links will be at the bottom of this YouTube video, so you can get there directly. And I'd also like to point out my educational background: San Diego State University, Chartered Property and Casualty Underwriter, Eagle Scout, Safeco 2-week school in Seattle, Washington. It's a copy of my license, National Association of Life Underwriters, and Registered Employee Benefit Counselor. 15 reasons to use us is, first of all, there's no additional cost. And then there'll be a link at the bottom of the YouTube video to all of these places. And be sure to ask us questions. Just let us know what they are in advance, because outside of open enrollment, it's like we're the Maytag repairman, and we've built an extensive website to be able to help people. So anyways, here's a bunch of reasons. It's just that I'm here to help. I've got the educational background. What I don't know, I'll look up. You can contact us, and the contact information will be at the bottom. Here's our new business card. We're at healthreformquotes.com and steveshore.com. We're happy to talk to you by appointment. We just need to know what your questions are so we can look it up. And we do have online quoting. So getting back to the Medicare and You manual, well, just before we do that, we do have a web page just for our videos and the official government publication. So this should be just like going to a live seminar on how Medicare works for you and what the gaps are and how you might fill them. So, here's our video on Medicare and You, video on choosing a Medigap policy, prescription drugs, understanding Medicare Advantage, and how to apply online to get Medicare A and B, how to create a Social Security account, which you need first to do that, Medicare's preventative care, when the open enrollment periods are for Medicare Advantage plans, prescription drug coverage. I've got that here somewhere. Yeah, prescription drug coverage is right there. You just scroll and you'll find it. But I'm going to go mainly in the Medicare and You manual, so you'll see all that. So here's the Medicare and You manual. It's 120 pages. I put in my own bookmarks, so it's kind of like the lesson plan that we're going to go through. So we're going to talk about the parts of Medicare. If you want to get a Medigap or Medicare Advantage plan, the best time to enroll is right when you turn 65. If you're older than that and you haven't, those are a little more detailed. You can ask questions, we'll answer those. The Part A coverage, hospitalization. Part B, and there is a cost for that, $140 a month or $144. If you make a lot of money, you'll pay more. What's covered under Part B, what's not covered, Medicare Advantage. It's always important to read the evidence of coverage. That'll answer lots of things that you never thought of asking. And most of the questions, if you ask us, that's generally the first place we'll look. When you can join a Medicare Advantage plan, when you can exit. Most Medicare Advantage plans are HMOs. Medigap, we'll go through the A through N chart. You have to have A and B to get Medigap. You also have to have A and B to get Medicare Advantage. prescriptions. And then if you don't make that much money, there's low income subsidy. And on prescriptions, if you make a lot of money, like more than, I believe it's 80,000 for a single, then they'll charge you extra. And then we've got definitions and the table of contents. So let's look first. You see the title page. Here's the different parts of Medicare. So you've got Part A, hospital, and that covers basically hospital and skilled nursing. But skilled nursing isn't long-term care. You've got to go through the definition of that. Part B, medical, is your doctor visits and outpatient care. And then Part D, prescriptions, which is a separate coverage. If you just have a Medicare all by itself, or if you get a Medigap plan, then Part D is separate. If you get Medicare Advantage, like 99% of the time, it will include Part D. So your Medicare options, like I just said, you can go original Medicare or Medicare Advantage. Original Medicare is A, B, you can add D. And the problem, if you don't add D, is then they charge you extra when you eventually, do add it. And then you can get supplemental coverage like a Medigap policy. If you go Medicare Advantage, your main downside is that you have to use their doctors and hospitals. So if you're happy with it, then it's probably a good deal. If you want, better freedom of choice, then you should go original Medicare and get a Medigap plan. Medigap plans are around $170 at age 65. And Part D is in the neighborhood of $20 to $100. So this bookmark is my bookmark, just for this presentation. But when you look at the actual Medicare and You booklet that's not marked up, Medicare put in their own bookmarks that you can access through here. But I think you'll find it better to just go to the table of contents or the index. And so I'm really impressed with this manual because, it's got an extensive index and table of contents. And you probably know this, but you can just do a Control F and you could say, like I mentioned, the low income subsidy. So you could just type LIS and there it is. But it says, see, well, you can still click here, see extra help. And it goes right down to extra help and see how it's 83 to 85. It's bold. So that's where you get the most detail on it. So it's like everything's in here, but if you ask us a question or look on our webinar page, you'll find links to most every question you have, or maybe even a separate video on it. We've got a separate video on nursing long-term care, home health care, hospice, mental health, everything. Well, I shouldn't say everything, but if Medicare does it, you send us a FAQ and we'll answer it. Oh, so talking about FAQs, throughout the web page here, I do have a link that says FAQ, and that will take us right to where you can ask a question. And of course, you can email us directly. Do that right here. But you can ask a question. You don't have to put in your name. I do need your email so I can let you know when we're working on it. And when we get into what Medicare pays and doesn't pay, the Medicare and You manual doesn't really give you numbers, but this is from a Medigap plan, so it shows you exactly what Medicare pays. So the first 60 days in the hospital, Medicare pays everything except $1,400. If you have no extra coverage, you'd pay that. But if you have a Medigap plan, you pay $0. And if you have Medicare Advantage, in this seminar, I really can't tell you because it's an educational seminar, not a sales seminar. But if you look at the evidence of coverage or summary of benefits, that'll tell you. If you go into skilled nursing, the first 20 days is 100% paid by Medicare. The 20th or 21st through the 100th is all but $176. If you have a Medigap plan, that'll be $0. Now we're talking about Plan G. The main thing that you're going to find get paid is your doctor visits, out of hospital. So Medicare pays 80%, a Medigap plan will pay another 20%. If you have Medicare Advantage, you just need to look at the co-pays. And then foreign travel is limited to $50,000, although right now I don't know who's going to be traveling, but things will clear up, we'll see. And then just about every Medigap plan covers silver sneakers. So feel free to, click the FAQ button. We'll be happy to help you. Now, Medigap, there's a whole section on that right here. And most people we're getting Plan F, but that's no longer available. If you already have it, you can keep it. If you would turn 65 before January 2020, you can still get it. But really the only difference is the Part B deductible, $196. So it's not really that big a deal. And if you look at the rates, you'll often find it to be, more advantageous. And then to get a Medicare Advantage or Medicare supplement, you have to have A and B. Let's go back up here because I don't really think I went over it. We went over the parts of Medicare. Medicare Advantage, yeah, we did that. Okay, so here's a chart that shows, if you have original care, Medicare or Medicare Advantage, and like I said, the main part is that you have to go to doctors that are in the plan. And if you're not really able to read this in the video, just click on the link. You can see the full, the full chart. So, and I'm kind of learning to do this too. I just made the chart bigger because I like you to see me, and I'm sure you want to see me and just not read this. So that's the main difference. Plans in the network, whether you need a referral, the 20%, the premium, Medicare Advantage, most of them are $0 premium. Medicare by itself has no limit. So if you have $1 million out of the hospital, which I doubt, but then you could pay $200,000 here. There's a maximum limit, and you can get a Medigap policy. Medicare Advantage has to cover everything that original Medicare covers, and they use the term medical necessity. There is a video on my page about medical necessity, or I'll at least have a link to that so you know what it means. It just means that it has to actually be medically necessary, not just that you want it or not just because your doctor said you should have it. It's got to be medically necessary. Then they talk about getting a separate prescription drug plan, Medicare Advantage. It's included. Your limitation on travel, $50,000 in 2 months. So, there's a lot in here. You can read through it on your own or just shoot us a question. We'll be happy to email, or we also do Skype, Zoom, and so forth. Okay. So also in the Part B, it's $144. The telehealth is covered. Travel we went through. Preventative is covered just like in Obamacare. And we have a separate video and booklet on preventative. Okay, now not covered, it's not like Medicare doesn't covers everything. Nothing covers everything. So don't ask me if you're 100% covered. But long-term care isn't covered, and concierge isn't covered. Going into long-term care, we do have a separate section on our website like that. There'll be a link, but you can do long-term care. And we also have a new plan for home health care only. That's a lot less money, and the underwriting isn't as tough. Then they've got a section here on Medicare Advantage. So really the biggest, decision is if you want to go HMO, Medicare Advantage for no extra premium generally, other than your Part B, $144, or you want freedom of choice to go where you want to go, when you want to go there, and that'll run you about $170 on top of the $144, and then $20 to $100 for prescriptions. So Medicare Advantage, it's important to read the evidence of coverage, when you can join and leave. So as soon as you turn 65, you can join, and you can also leave at the end of the year. They're mostly all HMOs. Medigap, we did that. Part D prescriptions. Medicare does have a tool where you put in your prescriptions and see which one works out the best. Otherwise, we have some plans we use that will cost you closer to the $20. Definitions. So here's all the definitions for all the big words, and then the table of contents and the index. So thanks very much for listening, and just click on the links. I will set an appointment with you. We can do Skype or Zoom, FaceTime, telephone. When the pandemic's over and you're in the Los Angeles, Orange County area, we can meet face to face. So we'll just see how it goes. Thank you very much, and be sure to look at the web page. If you're on YouTube, click on the links, and if you found our website, you're already there. Thank you very much.